Sneakerheads and basketball enthusiasts alike, this is the only land, and we are back to do a performance review for these. These are the Lebron 21s. Before we get into that, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe button if you like what you've seen before or you like what you see today. And as usual, we can just start off with the traction. For the traction on these, you have what appears to be some type of oyster-shaped storytelling traction here. If you didn't know, that's what these are based off of, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's an oyster. Yeah, an oyster. They are modeled off of an oyster shell, and they kind of just kept that story right there along the traction there. When it comes to performance-wise, the traction on these was excellent. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was excellent. I didn't really have any issues with the traction when it came to a dirty, clean. None of those. I don't recall really any wiping. What I will say is that in the beginning it had what felt like a sort of film to it, and I've been getting that recently with the sneakers that I've been testing. They'll have like a film right in the beginning where it feels like you might slip, and then after a while that film will wear out. Let me actually go to the notes. It said, when did it wear off? It took about 16, 17 hours to feel that come off. It did. I don't know if that's actually how long it took, or that's when I noticed it. But that's what I know. That's when I jotted it down, that the film was gone. But it was working perfect, even though you had that film. If you've played in enough sneakers, you will notice, right? Sometimes you will have what feels like there's like a film where I might slide, but it's not happening. It's a little weird. After that film wore off, I will say that it did start to feel like there were times where it would slip a little bit more than usual, which was a little bizarre. But with enough wiping, not too much, it's gonna get the job done, right? So if I had to give it a number, I don't usually just give a number randomly. I'd say it's probably like a 7.5, 8. The traction on these were pretty solid. That's like an 8, 8.5 actually. The traction on these were solid. It was more, a little bit more than solid. I will say I just saw it, a little bit of fraying on the heel right here, on the right one. I don't see it on the left one, so I think you'll be good. The grooves aren't the thickest, so I would not suggest wearing these outdoors. It doesn't feel like these are going to survive too long, especially just like this rubber compound. Doesn't feel like it's survived too long outside, but if that's your thing, give it a shot. Moving on up, we can move to cushioning. Cushioning on these, I believe let's just read it straight off the thing, because why? It says underfoot, the shoe features a zoom turbo unit in the forefoot, a bottom loaded 13mm zoom unit in the heel, and a full length Cushlon 2.0 foam carrier. I did put they had like a video that showed the cushioning in the last video, the unboxing. So if you guys really want to see that video, you can see it there. It'll show the different types of cushioning that it has in there. That's what's in here. How it feels. I would say about halfway through the test, what I wrote down was cushioning at this point just feels minimal, and I'm not sure why. That, along with the noticeable weight, is interesting. I don't know. In the beginning, I could feel the cushioning. I'll tell you what I wrote in first try on. It said, I'll get to the other stuff. It says, but cushioning feels nice. Materials loosened up fast. Traction is perfect, but this is a new court. And that's kind of how I felt on the first try on, right? In regards to cushioning. But I do feel like it did wear down fairly quickly, right? I just say there was reacting here, right? Yeah, the Cushlon. The Cushlon, you can see the carrier there, right? You can see the carrier there. You can see all the marks that it has in there. I use them enough, right? I put 24 hours into every one of these tests, and you can just tell that, I don't know, not that it topped out, but it just didn't feel the same as like a first try on. Lebrons usually have more cushioning than this, would be what I would say. So I'm a little bit more used to that with LeBron. When it comes to these, could be better, could be worse. I'm gonna pull out the insole so you can guys see this. The insole's nothing to even think about. Very thin. The heel, I would say, is a little Has a little bit more cushion to it, but even then, it's really doing nothing there. Before we get into lockdown, I'm gonna quickly touch on breathability. Breathability on these was little to nothing. I usually don't notice breathability unless it's bad, and it was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is an oyster shape, right? It was based off an oyster, and it would feel like how it would feel. I would assume it would feel to get trapped in an oyster, right? It has all these. They have all these dots, and they at this point, I kind of feel like when they put this stuff here, it's just for visuals, because they will tell you, oh, added. I forgot what the verbiage that they use for this is. Let me find it. They'll say perforations, right? Added perforations for more breathability, and you'll have absolutely no breathability. This didn't help with breathability at all. These definitely feel like an oyster. Your feet are gonna get really sweaty in these. It's just gonna happen. Just be prepared for that when you put these on. There's just really no way around that. Oh, I never even noticed that under the heel. That's dope. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. You're gonna have sweaty feet in these. If that's not a big deal for you, then it shouldn't be a big deal. Moving on up to lockdown. When it comes to lockdown on these perform very well. You're not gonna have any issues at all with lockdown. You're not gonna have any heel slippage. The heel couple in this works perfectly fine. The laces gave me a little trouble sometimes, right? Just make sure you tighten them well enough. If you're playing around with the laces and you're just giving a loose one, they might slip out, but it's not a big deal. So what they put in here was containment is visualized by a lightweight mono mesh reinforced by 360 degrees of zonal cables around the midfoot, helping support and secure the player over the footbed. I couldn't find those in the beginning, and I am not sure how I couldn't find those, because they're kind of right in your face, right? The cables are literally these things right here. So you have the cables right by the laces as per usual, and then you can see those cables run up and down the sneaker, right? So those little like striations, however you pronounce that run right through here, those are the actual cables. So whenever you lace your sneakers, you're going to be tightening this whole section of your foot, and it runs down the whole sneaker, right? So you're not going to be slipping out of these. You'll have absolutely no issues with that. And I just noticed that they actually added that foam stuff on the tongue that they've been adding on all the Lebrons, and that didn't help for breathability either. That's insane. But nah, you're not gonna have any issues with that. You can actually even see that inside of the swoosh here. You can see more of those cables, and like I said, they just run all along the sneaker from the front of the sneaker to the back of the sneaker. They run all the way along, all the way around. And as you tighten them, you'll be just fine with those. So for a price point of $200, as you usually expect, Lebrons are fairly pricey. I would say it gets the job done. I'm looking at the other pairs, and it seems like they all have the same type of material. If that was a big deal for breathability, I would also say if you want to keep your sneakers clean, let's avoid this like lighter colorway. They do have a purple one, the freshwater colorway, and the black one that is supposedly supposed to come out soon. I don't see a date for it. I would go with those if you care about getting your sneakers dirty. I particularly don't. I left them in the trunk with my car and had some weights in there, and they like scuffed up the sneakers. You can see that here. I got blood on them, and I had to like wipe them off. Somebody bled on my sneakers. I got more like those scuffs. Good scuffs there. Actually, there's where the blood was. If you can see that. These got really dirty, really fast. So if that matters to you, then I guess don't get this colorway. But for $200, you're getting a lot in here, right? They try to give you guys a good amount of technology for the $200. Me personally, probably not gonna go back to these because there's just so many good sneakers out, and I got a lot more to test, right? So why would I just go back to these? I actually prefer the 20s over the 21. A little lower to the ground, a little lighter. It just feels like more of a guard shoe to me. More of a guard shoe with more of the cushioning to me. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you hit the like button, subscribe if you like what you've seen before, you like what you saw today. This is the only thing I'm on here. You guys have a good one.